Okay, welcome everyone to our section, Anime Beyond Japan, right? So, first we're going to start with introductions. My name is James. I'm Welfare Officer for UCL Anisoc, and I will be one of the hosts today.
I'm Julie. I'm Events Officer for Anisoc, and I will be another one of the hosts for today. If the guests could please introduce themselves. Izza, do you want to start?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. I am Izza. I am a first-year student, and I am part of Anisoc, and I am a guest, but I do not have credentials. Yeah.
UCL Anisoc, by the way. Just add that. We need some more representation.
What about you then, Agent P?
Oh, hi, I'm Elliot. I'm from LSE Anisoc, and yeah, that's all I guess.
Right. And Ricky, what about you?
My name's Ricky, and I'm a first year from UCL.
All right, cool.
Hello.
What countries are all of you guys from? Since this section is about anime beyond Japan.
I'm from
Singapore.
Okay.
I am also from Hong Kong.
Okay.
Two
Hong Kong,
It's
one
the right
Singapore.
word. Also is the right word. I haven't introduced myself, but I'm Otto from Imperial. I'm the Vice President of ICAST.
Okay.
Hello, Vice President.
Ricky, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Hong Kong.
Oh, okay. I'm from France personally, and James.
I'm from London, so
Yes.
UCL's pretty much, part of my home, I guess, I would say. So what I want to do is I want to start with a quick introduction to actually shed some light into this topic. So anime viewership has exploded due to easier access to material legally, and this is with Netflix reporting a 100% increase in 2020 of anime viewership when compared to 2019, as well as, quotes, present day situation, end quote, which has provided the opportunity for many to experience for the first time, or I guess re-experience, a love of anime. Over the course of this podcast, we'll be discussing our personal experiences of anime beyond Japan and try to answer some controversial questions around anime representation. So, are you ready for that, guys? Because I guess I'm gonna start light and then it's gonna gradually build up. So, I guess the first question for everyone is gonna be, what was the first anime that really drew you in? I guess I can start with that. So for me, it was actually watching Astro Boy on TV. So for some reason, when I was younger, the BBC did Astro Boy, and that sort of opened me up to exploring outside of, okay, there's this one anime on TV, let's see if I can find something else. So I then started to buy the games for Astro Boy. You can question how good their quality was, but eventually I started looking into merch, etc. I started going into anime movies such as Spirited Away, A Cat Returns. When I was young, I loved watching that over and over. And then I guess from there, it sort of moved onto degen territory. I started watching Tenchi Muyo when I was young, thinking it was wholesome, and then seeing some questionable scenes. But yeah, I guess that was how I got into anime. It was from watching Astro Boy and all these anime films when I was younger. So I'd like to throw the question out to you guys and actually see what you were interested in.
I have a question myself just about Astro Boy. You said you saw it on TV. Was it the actual original anime or like the movie remake that they did in like 2010?
Ooh. No way. Okay, so it was the original anime. I think
Really?
though, I'm not gonna lie, it was dubbed. That's gonna be a later
Oh.
question for you guys. I'm gonna ask you about dubs, but it was actually dubbed, and I thought the dub was decent because I guess I was like 6 or something at the time. But in regards to the Astro Boy movie, let's just say I looked at that film and I didn't actually get annoyed at first at the movie, but what I did see was I was like, they sort of changed quite a few backstories there. Haha, they kind of changed the direction of Astro Boy, and I guess I was left, asking questions like, why did they do this? What was the point? But no, I definitely started with the TV animated dub. So yeah,
It's pretty interesting for British TV to show that. But
I don't know
Does
why
anyone-
they showed it.
yeah. Does anyone feel like bringing up their first approach to anime?
I'll go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, my first anime was Death Note. And I distinctly remember, like, my little mind was blown by it. And this was my first anime, right? But I was still convinced that this was, like, the best anime that was ever made. So I distinctly remember Googling, like, is Death Note the best anime? Because it has to be. It's, like, so good. So yeah.
Desperate to find anything as good as Death Note.
Exactly. It was just chasing a high from then on.
Death Note was actually it was one of my first as well because I was recommended Death Note by a friend in like middle school.
Yeah, I
But
found it's a surprising amount of people's first anime.
yeah, it's super popular and I guess like young people tend to watch it as well. But my very first like anime that I actively watched I think was Dragon Ball, also in middle school, because that's like super popular in France. And I was really enjoying it. But then the series, like, I got to Dragon Ball Super,
Oh yes.
and as I kept watching, I stopped watching because I was enjoying, and I was more watching just to kind of laugh at the show because the quality was pretty bad in those like early Dragon Ball Super days. Oh my god.
Yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Kai, I think it was. It's supposed to be like
Yeah,
a
it's
shortened
like
version.
yeah, but it's like the Blue Arc or something. I don't really know.
Yeah. But I watched that in dub as well on TV. And let's just say I don't really think too highly of the dub at first, but I grew to love it eventually.
People don't really like Kai, if I remember correctly. I've never
Yeah.
seen it, but I don't think people speak very highly of it.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know me. I'm not gonna say that something's complete trash, but yeah, it was more mundane, I think.
Yeah,
But it's something that you should watch if you didn't have time to watch the original series, I think.
Anyone else with their first anime?
Um,
For me, surprisingly, it was not Dragon Ball, but it was. I can't really say which was the first, but the most memorable one was Rockman.exe.
Wait, what?
Oh, yes. I know what this
Rockman?
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mega Man.
Oh,
the
okay.
anime
I was wondering if you were talking about Mega Man.
Yeah, they call it Rockman in the anime, so it's
Yeah.
more like a spin-off anime using the same concept of characters in the whole new setting, and it was
Yep.
It was quite mad, but during that time it was really fun. I also did watch Dragon Ball, but I thought it was really boring, so I just didn't.
I thought it was really cool, but I was really young. So
We're not starting war here. Don't worry.
I also mainly, honestly, the main reason I started watching it, I think, is because one of my friends had like a Dragon Ball game on the Wii, a fighting game, and it was really fun. We played it all the time. So I actually watched the anime, got into the lore and shit. Yeah. I looked it up, the Rockman anime, because I thought at first that it might be the infamous Mega Man X anime. With that crying. I don't know if you guys know that scene. Forget what it is.
What am I fighting for?
Yes, this one.
Yeah.
And you, Ricky, what was your first anime?
Like when I was growing up, I watched like Doraemon, Keroro, and Detective Conan on TV, and that's like the anime I watched when I was a kid. But like, at that time, like when I was in primary school, like somehow like I don't like anime like as in like the non-kids anime like shonen and stuff. Like I feel like when my friends like watch it, it's kind of like, yeah, because at that time it was like too adult for me. Like, why are you watching this, non-kids anime? Like, I'm still a kid at that point. But like when I was in secondary school, the first non-kids like anime, like the anime that brought me to watch all the anime I watch now is Attack on Titan. And that really like after I watched the first season of Attack on Titan, I got hooked on watching anime, and then at that point I start watching other anime like Noragami and what's the other anime I watch? And Sword Art Online.
That really makes you think of how old Attack on Titan season 1 actually is.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget. It's like currently airing, and it took a million years for season 2 to release. But holy shit, it's actually old.
Wait, what was the first season of Attack on Titan again?
I thought it was after SAO actually. Was it not?
After SAO? Let me look this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember either, and
Okay.
I do feel like I watched that ages ago.
SAO 2012.
Yeah, it is after SAO. It was 2013, I think.
Oh, it's 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually after SAO.
Bro,
I am a bit-
okay.
Oh, actually, I don't think I would like to learn about that because it reminds me how old we are.
I remember seeing some Attack on Titan on TV as well, but it wasn't in France. It was somewhere in America.
Fair.
Elliot, what was your first anime?
Well, I think most aligned with the question, I think actually it's SAO. Which is why I thought it came before AOT, because I remember I was in secondary school and my friend, I was like on the way home, like with my bunch of friends, and we were on the bus and they were like all talking about SAO and I felt really excluded. So I was like, crap, I have to watch this now. So I watched it and I actually did like it. Like, before I had watched stuff like Naruto and Pokemon and Digimon, like the really generic ones. And I guess it didn't really register with me that there was an entire medium out there that was like that, and there were so many different series to watch. But I think it was after SAO where I started actually watching the anime that weren't streamed on TV in Singapore. Yeah, so I would say it was SAO actually for me, even though I grew to dislike it. But it's still memorable, I guess.
Fair.
I guess.
Okay, and
sorry, really quickly. I guess I have a controversial opinion because I still enjoy SAO, at least the very beginning of it.
Yeah, just
the
like
start was good. The start was really
This was
good.
like just
It drawn you in very well.
Yeah,
And if you
I like the
ignore
first season.
the story and pacing aside, the animation quality is pretty good throughout. So, but other
Yeah,
than that,
our UCL Anisoc treasurer is also a big fan of SAO. He's not with us today.
Yeah, he's currently in the Nerve Drive, literally like trying out some of the SEO tech right now as we speak. So that's why he can't be here today.
He's studying the
Um,
way of the sword.
I see.
Yeah, he's trying to
that
learn those
depends on
hidden
what kind of
techniques.
sword.
Although this talk makes me curious, what anime was and wasn't aired on TV for you guys? Because in my country, in France, basically the only thing that was aired on TV, if you didn't have a special like anime only paid TV channel, was like shonen, but like the really popular ones. So I think One Piece and Dragon Ball would sometimes be aired on TV, but like basically nothing else for us.
Oh my
So,
god.
like-
It's also because they insisted on making their own versions of opening songs in France.
That's true. That's true. We have like our own French openings for every anime that was aired here.
Dragon Ball was cursed.
Yeah, Dragon Ball one is very cursed. It's pretty bad. That makes me think Saint Seiya was also really popular in France, and that has French openings. Is that a thing in you guys' country? For example, in the UK, James, are there like UK openings for Dragon Ball?
I can't actually remember. I think it's more of it's the same as US. But yeah, I mean, literally, you've just reminded me of so many amazing, cringy shows that aired in the UK that I'm not quite sure aired in your guys' countries. Not gonna lie. I don't know whether I should, go into depth now or let everyone speak. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna give
maybe we
everyone a
can-
chance first.
Maybe we can hear about what the openings were like in Hong Kong and Singapore.
Well, from Hong Kong,
the opening.
most openings. We have a Cantonese version of a lot of openings.
Is it the same tune, or
Yeah, it's the same tune, and I would ironically say most of them are actually done well and not cringy.
okay?
Yeah, so like the Cantonese version of the opening song for Pretty Cure, the original Pretty Cure, it was actually I liked it. It didn't sound off, and after listening to the original, it's not really that far off. For more kid-oriented shows or quote-unquote kids, Doraemon songs are also really good, done in Cantonese. I can't really say for others because for the rest, which aren't shown on the largest mainstream TV channels, say if they're broadcasted in certain cable TVs, kids channel or Animax, they'll just put in the raw original Japanese song as the opening instead.
Okay.
Yeah, so it really depends on if it's in the main channels or in those paid channels. Paid channels don't really do.
yeah,
I don't think they do localize openings anymore.
yeah.
I think it's-
That's what I was thinking as well. It's not a thing they
Yeah.
do anymore, really.
Now that I think about it, like, you guys are reminded me of, like, we had, like, Pokemon here. Pokemon was a big thing every season.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
had,
Yeah,
like,
same.
the OPs were so, like, I don't know, they felt like love themes.
What?
We had, like,
But they gotta
it's themes about,
catch
it's
them
themes
all
about
time?
friendship as well, right? But,
Yeah.
like, it's about you. It's about me. You know.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just sort of-
I know that one. That's black and
Yeah,
white. That's
come on,
black and
come
white.
on.
That's black and
know-
white. I remember that one.
yeah. And there was that stuff about Destiny and one of the OPs.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just remember all the songs; they were amazing. But it was just in the UK they spammed Pokemon all the time. That was a big thing. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh. You know,
Yeah.
That's
you
true. I
come home.
forgot about the Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah.
You come home and you hear, it's time to that sort of sound, right? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Actually, what's interesting is we have, I don't know what the original openings are like in Japanese, but we have the same tunes for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh in France, but with French lyrics instead. So
Wait,
instead
so
of-
like over? What do you mean, like over the English openings or the Japanese opening?
Oh, I don't know what the Japanese openings are like,
Oh,
but I
okay,
know
okay,
that
okay.
the melody for the English and French ones were
Yeah.
the same. Because yeah, in English it goes like it's time to duel, and in French it goes
Say that in French.
duel. It's the same lyrics as well, like translated.
Whoa.
It's pretty fun discovering the openings when I came here in the UK, and I just knew the French lyrics by heart.
yeah.
When I first heard of it, I thought it was a dubstep.
Well, we had some good ones. Like Beyblade had some good ones. It's like, you know, Beyblade, let it rip. And then what else? We
Yu-Gi-Oh!
had
GX had a
Dinosaur
sick
King.
opening though.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That was a good one. Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah,
Is
you're reminding me of
is that the
childhood.
motorcycle one? Or
No, that's
one-
5Ds. GX is
Five-
the school
Uh,
one, the academy one.
It was just before, I think. So
Yeah. They go to hell or whatever at some point, right? Or is that still 5DS?
Yeah. Or
I
Yu-Gi-Oh!
think-
Instead of sending people to a Shadow Realm, in the original they actually died. But
yeah,
you
they
can't
died.
have that, right?
I loved that. I loved 5Ds when I was younger because it seemed like an introduction, to me anyway, to a more like mature anime. I had like stuff like Pokemon. I had like Dinosaur King, right, and
Wait,
stuff
what?
like that. Dinosaur King.
Yeah.
That was also a thing here where they had cards, but these were cards that you used in arcade to battle your dinosaurs with.
Oh, I think
I remember
yeah.
this.
Now that I
Like-
think about it, it sort of reminded me of budget Pokemon, or
I-
rip off Digimon or something.
I've seen pictures of this protagonist, but I don't think this was aired in France. Dinosaur
Ah.
King. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's fine, but it was quite popular in the UK. But I guess this was like when I was 8 or something, and I'm like 21 now, so it's gotta be like 8. Yeah, it's gotta be time ago that this aired, but it was just something I came home from school to watch like every day. I was like, oh, you know, I need to tell my friends about this amazing show. But now, you know, if I mention it now, they'd be like, James, that's a bit cringe, bro. You don't have to mention that.
Dinosaur King. Wait, I'm looking at pictures, and was there like a CGI mixed in or something?
Yeah, CGI. Yes.
Okay, the dinosaurs are CGI. It looks like.
Yeah. I guess they had to cut some costs somewhere.
Yeah, had some
Um.
corners, not much. budget.
Although you've reminded me that the dinosaurs were only CGI when they got big in that show. Like, I think they had like small versions, like chibi versions of these dinosaurs, but when they went to fight, they expanded and
Into like life-size dinosaurs.
yeah, they expanded into life-size versions. And I don't know whether to say they're realistic or not. I mean, you can judge by some of the pictures online, but yeah, some of the 2D characters look a bit out of place on those CG models.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's actually it's what people complain about when they complain about what's it called X-Arm.
Oh dear.
It's the same thing. There's this like screenshot, right? It's translating with the like anime character that's standing next to the CGI character.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
But at least one executed it more naturally than the other.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't even need to name it.
And it was more acceptable back then. Also, I don't think Dinosaur King pretended to be like a top tier sci-fi show. the next coming
It's all about setting expectations.
It had a style that I really enjoyed, I guess. There are quite a few shows that do it now, but it's just like you can jump onto an episode, and the overarching plot isn't super strong, so you could skip like a couple episodes and then like come back to it after a week or something, missing all this stuff, but you still sort of know what's going on because they have something that starts, there's a conflict, and then the conflict finishes by the end of the show. By the
Yeah,
end of
that's
20 minutes.
That's
So
like Pokemon, right? Like
Yeah,
Pokemon did
yeah.
the same thing.
things like
Um,
Villain of the Week, Slice of Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, did
I
Pokemon
do
ever have
enjoy it.
two-parters or something? I can't remember if they had two-parters where...
There should
Probably. Like, you mean a story that's split into 2 episodes?
Yeah, 2 episodes.
Yeah, probably for like the big stuff. Like, I don't know.
and
end of
whenever
the season.
Ash goes in a tournament and loses, those are multi episodes always.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, find me one.
spoilers, bro.
That's not even
I
a
guess-
spoiler.
Yeah, I know,
Except for
because
one-
he fails
except for
out all the
one-
time, but, you know...
He never wins. Because if
But, you know, I can imagine that one person who's like, oh, I wanted to watch all 24 seasons of Pokemon right now, and I didn't know Ash was gonna flop more than once.
I think right now we'll be surprised if he won once. He did
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
just once.
Yeah. Everyone was raving about it when he did. It was
Yes.
like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
damn.
just
This guy is going to have his first birthday after 10. Wait. But yeah, you get my point.
yeah. Okay, I had another question. Just because you mentioned Rockman earlier, Otto, and it sort of reminded me of all these anime games that I played. I'm guessing not everyone played anime games here, but was there any anime games that sort of made you think, oh, I need to watch this show or learn a bit more about this show, for instance? So I guess for me, I played like the Mega Man stuff. So Otto talked about Rockman.exe, but for me, it was a slightly different show from the Mega Man series that I got like really interested in from playing the game of it, and that was Mega Man Star Force. So Star Force had like a different protagonist. He was still Mega Man in the end, but it was basically this kid who was very depressed by the first game, had no friends, didn't go to school. He was a NEET, basically, after his dad's death. And then eventually, over a trilogy of games, you see him mature. So you can visibly see him as well change from just a sad, lonely kid to a guy who, by the third game, is constantly smiling. He has friends with all these different members of, I guess, the social hierarchy in his school. So he's friends with the president. He's friends with the geeks in his school. He's friends with, people who don't even go to school, for instance. I guess it's one of those shows about friendship, like a lot of anime. But from playing that game, I was like, okay, now it's time for me to now watch this anime show about it, which ran for like a season and was very mediocre. But yeah, was there anything like that for you guys? Like, say, like a Naruto game?
Well,
or-
I mentioned
or
it.
Sword Art?
I've mentioned it, but I played the Dragon Ball games on the Wii, the like basically arena fighting games, and that made me really interested in the lore and the show in general. I don't know if it was the same for anyone else.
Like, I remember there was a series of Bleach games on the DS. So at this point in time, I knew nothing about Bleach.
Oh my.
But from
No, sorry.
from the DS games, I realized the games pretty much went over like the first like 24 episodes or something like that. And even though the games weren't amazing, I sort of understood the anime from playing those DS games. And I guess as well from that, I started watching the anime. I started playing some of the Wii versions of Bleach, which were also very mediocre. But yeah, no, it was just a thought because I realized a lot of anime these days have video game adaptations.
Yeah.
Like
Speaking of DS games, you actually made me remember how huge Bakugan was when I was in primary
dude.
school.
Yeah, that
Because
was
I
that
had a
DS
DS game. I had a DS
That was
game
a
for that, and I
Bakugan
had-
DS game.
Yes.
I don't remember
I
that.
played it. I
Oh.
played it a shit ton. It
DS
was
games
actually
every-
fun.
I bought the
You got your
ball.
own, like you got your own like custom, literally video game exclusive Bakugan. It doesn't appear in any of the anime, and I'm not sure if it has a toy or not. I'm pretty sure it was just exclusive to the DS game. It was really cool.
I should have gotten that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel
Bakugan.
like all the DS Yu-Gi-Oh games though. Yeah, because
Yu-Gi-Oh?
that was really
Oh.
at that time.
I had one of those on the Game Boy actually.
oh, Game Boy, Game Boy anime adaptations. Oh,
There's been a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
they had an Astro Boy one for Game Boy, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was really good. It had multiple endings, had all this time travel stuff as well, that I don't think they did on the show. So I thought it actually told like a new original story, and it mentioned, I think it was all of I've forgotten the creator's, like how to actually pronounce the creator's name, so I don't want to butcher it. But the creator of Astro Boy had all his characters from the other anime shows that he had created in this one game, as well as like additional characters. So I thought they actually tried, unlike a majority of spin-off games that they have nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. Spin-off games can be a bit disappointing these days. They're basically just all Dynasty Warrior clones, it feels like.
Yeah, there was that Attack on Titan one.
The Attack on Titan one I like. I bought it after watching season 1. I actually really like it because the swinging around is just so fun. So incredibly fun. I actually like that game. The main issue is that it just got super tedious because they got too lazy to actually create content, and they just made you play the same episode over and over again to unlock the rest of the story towards the end of the game. So I just
The grind.
Actually, how
Yeah.
did the AOT one play out though? Like, is there Titan v Titan combat, or are you like the scouting call and you're like trying
there's
to kill
both.
the Titan?
There's both. Sometimes you play as Eren and you can turn into, the attack Titan. I don't think that's a spoiler. But yeah,
That's okay.
there's you can swing around, and there's some sections where you can transform and beat other Titans up. There's like the section where you fight the armored Titan, for example. Yeah, it's actually cool.
Does it follow the story? I guess it would.
Yeah, it follows the story, which is why it ended up stalling, because it didn't have enough content to cover. It got up to the part with the Beast Titan, which the anime hadn't covered yet, and so the game started stalling a lot. But yeah, I never got the second game. What'd you say, Isa?
Oh, I just said that makes sense.
Yeah.
Continue it though.
I mean, I was thinking I might play the second game because I actually made a second game, which doesn't look too different. The only difference would be that it actually has like proper content. But yeah, I played so many fan games as well. Actually, I don't know if you guys ever delved into those kind of games, but Attack on Titan had a bunch of fan games, and they all had a different way to implement the 3D movement gear. I had really a lot of fun checking those out.
Yeah, I remember seeing the PC like fan games for that when I was younger. There used to be a whole bunch of YouTubers who would play that. And they actually implemented like the Titan combat like very well. I thought for the time, especially for a fan game. And then I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the same for the AOT games, the official ones, but
It's a bit watered down, the official ones.
mm,
And there was a fan game which was like really in depth, all in on the swing and action. It was like crazy. Nothing was automated. You aimed every like hook and stuff. You controlled the power of your like
More freedom.
propulsion and stuff.
yeah.
It was really cool.
Wow.
I don't know if it ever developed into a fully fledged game. I don't think so, but
Never underestimate the fandom.
Yeah,
never
I don't think it did as well, but I think I remember the game that you're talking about. Because I was looking at that and it was like, okay, an official one, we've seen what the unofficial makers can do. As soon as you got official content, it's going to be the same amazing game, right? And then, yeah.
Well, the difference is it was also made to accommodate consoles, so you can't have like the mouse pointer precision for the hooks and stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay, I got another question for you guys. Okay, this is slightly a bit more controversial, I think. So in my introduction, I mentioned how legally, anime is becoming more accessible. However, there's still a lot that hasn't been released overseas. With the advent of online streaming sites, have your methods of viewing anime changed?
I'm gonna start out and be honest. No, and that's for like one main reason. Half the time when I want to watch a show, I look it up to see if it's on any streaming platform available in like the country I'm located in. And it's either like just not available anywhere in the world that's not Japan, or it's like region locked to some random place like the US or I don't know, only Asia. But there's a lot of anime. I've looked into getting like a Crunchyroll membership and stuff, but it just doesn't feel worth it for the kind of anime that I want to watch. Most of them are just not there, so I'm not gonna pay for nothing, essentially.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So
Actually,
I guess go on, Julie.
Since like Hong Kong and maybe Singapore are closer to
Yes.
Japan,
Yeah,
do you have access to like more
I
stuff?
was gonna say, yeah, actually,
I was going to
Netflix
say,
Singapore has a lot of anime. So I mean, okay, a lot of it is still like shonen. So if you want to watch like more slice of life stuff, I still go to illegal sites. But stuff like AOT is on Netflix, so I watch AOT on Netflix. Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I guess compared to all of you, I had a very different experience. So I used to get box sets for anime shows. So I only really watched them when the season had finished. And I also watched a lot of anime films because you could go to a store and then you could find like Spirited Away or something, or Ghost in the Shell, and just watch that, have a good time. Then that's it. And I didn't really go like online for content and stuff till I guess it got to the point where I started to see, okay, I can't really access a lot of these shows, or if I do access them, they're bad dubs. And yeah, I didn't really want to be subjected to the dubs. All my friends were like, "Oh, why are you watching dubbed anime? you could just go online and get it. And I think it was at that point I sort of made a switch. I did actually like okay, look, I'll put my hands up. I had Crunchyroll membership at one point. I guess it's around the time that like Erase came out.
Mm, yeah.
But it got to the point where I was like, look, I'm searching up on Google for shows, and they're just not coming up on Crunchyroll. What do I do now? And it got to the point where I was like, okay, if they're not going to make it, if they're not going to release it here so I can buy it, I need to find a way to view this, honestly.
I'm actually curious. Has anyone else bought DVD box sets for anime shows here? Because
Oh, I have one.
Yeah,
really,
it wasn't bought. I didn't buy it. It was like a birthday present.
okay, so
I mean, anime I
it
don't even watch.
was more of like a collector's thing, then I imagine, right?
I guess so. I mean, like my sisters bought it. Like they knew I watched anime, but they didn't know what anime I liked, so they bought like what's it called, like Tiger and Bunny or that one.
Yeah, because those things are like so
We go watch it.
ineffective.
Tiger and Bunny. You know?
It's so ineffective
Yeah.
in terms of cost that I feel like it's just not a viable way to watch anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as Jason was saying in the chat, I think most of them are sort of rip-offs, right? Now I'm looking back now. I'm looking to my left right now, and I'm seeing standalone complex season 2 and season 1 on my shelf, right? What
Right.
they used to do was they put a lot of postcards. I don't know what this thing was, but they would add postcards to all the like box sets or whatever, and it just have like some random scene from the show, and then they're like, yeah, there you go. That's why this box set should cost £20 more or something. Like even if I look at Robotech right next to me, yeah, I have the complete saga, right, and that had nothing added to it, and I still think that was overpriced as well. And just I don't know, looking back at it now, I sort of regret in a way getting some of this stuff. It's nice to look at on the shelf, but
There's
it's
an
not like I really
use
I'm
for it.
rewatching this stuff, so like what's the point?
I don't think I can find this screenshot, but I remember Seb in UCL Anisoc was looking at ReZero Blu-rays since he really likes ReZero, and for some reason it was like one Blu-ray per episode or something, and they all cost like the price of an entire season, basically. It's such a ripoff. I don't know if it used to be this way always, but it's definitely just not a viable way to watch anime. And I feel like streaming sites, overseas here, they don't have a good selection, and you need to be subscribed to like 5 different streaming websites to even get access to the full overseas catalog of anime. Like there's some stuff that Netflix has and Crunchyroll doesn't. Crunchyroll has, Crunchyroll doesn't. Like Funimation as well, right? Probably other things as well. I'm not completely caught up on that.
Yeah, it just got to the point where unless you want like some limited selection, you're gonna have to pick and choose, and then sort of guess which streaming service is gonna get the next big thing. And I don't know, that just rubbed me the wrong way, I guess.
So yeah, it really doesn't feel worth it. It's a shame.
Yeah, and illegal sites are just so tempting because they have the best selection, they load super quickly, and like there's almost no negatives except maybe like the porn ads.
Oh yeah, but you get like an ad block, right?
Yeah.
And you don't need to sign
Yeah.
in like on those legal streaming websites. So it's convenient.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Go ahead.
Like I used to like for like a year or two, I watched animes on Crunchyroll, but then I cannot stand the ads anymore. It got more and more ads, and I went
There's
to
ads
like
on
the
Crunchyroll?
oh no, because I didn't pay for the membership.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
Yeah. Then I got fed up with it, and I started watching it on the illegal sites.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
enough.
it's quite different for me. So in the past, other than TV, since there are a lot of series where I missed a lot of episodes, or I just got into like after playing a lot of Super Robot War games, I want to watch those anime. Those are on not legal sites for a while. Then since I finished all of these, and there are still new series coming up. So at least for us in Hong Kong, Malaysia, or those in Southeast Asia, on YouTube, there's being a few more channels which has a legal licensed anime like Muse or Anyone. You might have heard of these.
Mm.
So yeah, I've been making a switch to
Oh, that's
using those channels instead these days. So I don't.
one of those
I don't
YouTube channels. Is the one that has Molcar, I think.
Yes, that's why I watch it.
Has what? Sorry.
Yeah, Mokar.
Yeah, Molcar.
One of the best anime. Also, Girl and Dinosaur. They had Jujutsu Kaisen, I think.
Oh, really? On YouTube? Oh,
Yeah.
that's
They're uploading like quite a few that in Asia, but it's restricted to Asia only, unfortunately.
Yes, that's the problem. So you either need.
Speaking of
VPN
YouTube, though, I actually, before I came upon the known websites of piracy, I
remember
used to
this.
watch anime on YouTube.
And it was
And-
split into 3 parts.
Same
That
as
gave me
well.
such flashbacks to anime in 3 parts.
Yes.
It's like a
Don't
tiny
forget the info.
screen.
yeah.
And it's like a tiny screen with like a big overlay around it, right?
It's mirrored as well.
Yeah.
There's that too. Oh my god,
I remember watching Haruhi on YouTube.
that's how I
Um,
watched Death Note. I'm pretty sure all on YouTube, all of it.
At least I'm still glad they also some official channels like Gundam Info. They still have almost worldwide streaming for their stuff, and definitely what was that again?
Wait, really?
So it's not anime per se, but Toei, especially the Ultraman official channels, they keep on releasing their old stuff so we can watch them for free on YouTube.
So is that
pretty
where I should be watching Gundam? 'Cause
Yeah,
I've been watching
for
that
Gundam-
stuff.
Yeah.
On
so for Gundam, you can watch quite not all, but a lot of series for free. Like Seed is still on, I think. Yeah, there's rotation. Arjun in chat is right. And I'm still happy that Build Divers and Build Fighters is still on there.
Oh, but aren't those like the for kids spin-offs?
Oh, it looks like it's for kids, but it's actually for longtime fans.
Okay.
This
Because
is it's good.
Yeah.
Build Divers
Okay,
is another story. Build Divers Rise is great, but that's
so you're
can't-
saying I can't watch Zeta on there?
well, maybe in the future because as
Okay.
we said, they release them on rotation, maybe occasionally, or if there's some special occasion regarding the series.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Even a whole TV series of Unicorn is on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I'll keep it in mind.
Okay, so okay, I actually like that part. Okay, so I've got another question for everyone. So has anyone been to conventions? I guess this could be either online or in person.
Well,
And what are your favorite experiences and what are your worst ones?
I mean by being here, you're in one technically.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah.
Welcome
That's
to
very
the
true.
London Anime Union online fair.
Yeah, I didn't really think of that. Oh no, my whole argument's
this-
gone.
This aside, see, the best and the worst. I won't say there's a worst, since they're all either good or really good. So I've been to the local ones in Hong Kong. There's this HKACG, which held almost every year. These years they also added Dojin section, so a lot of local creators can also sell stuff there, and I also seen some Japanese creators like Tam or Nijishiki P also came. So that was quite fun. Most of it is quite commercialized. I don't really like that one too much, but I guess they still have to make money for convention. But it's still nowhere as good as the actual Comic Cat itself. I've been there once, and it's just fun, I guess.
Actually,
if I'm going to describe it, it would take me too much time, but I would say it's just pretty much top tier. MCM is nowhere near it.
I'm just gonna say, France, anime conventions is like the one thing that France one-ups Southeast Asia in, because we have, according to the numbers, the biggest anime convention outside of Japan in Paris. I forget its name.
That makes sense. France still is the number one overseas consumer of anime, right? Or was. Or no.
Oh, are they? That's so... Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised because people really love anime. Actually, when I worked a part-time job back in France before I entered UCL, my coworkers and my managers, when they went on break, and these are like full-grown adults and stuff, they would like talk about the latest One Piece episodes or chapters, or they would talk about Bleach and Dragon Ball and all other anime like that. Yeah,
Really cool.
so it's actually quite big here. Yeah, which is why we have, it's called Japan Expo Paris. And it's super big. I've never been, but it's super big apparently.
I actually do remember seeing a mention of this in Comic Cat somewhere. So,
oh really?
Yeah. So I think there was a stall which explains or explores conventions from other places in the world. France was there, definitely there.
Okay, it's nice to know they're acknowledging us.
I don't know. For me, we're talking about MCM, Comic Con, and they had that in the UK. I would say, if I think about it, the first time I went was probably going to be my worst experience.
Same.
I would say the first time I went, we're funneled in like sardines basically in a can, and everyone's like hot and like bothered, and there's all these like other like comic fans, they're all wearing Harley Quinn material. You see like the Jokers in the back with like the t-shirts with daddy on them, and you're like, whoa, like what's going on? And you see like even on the train ride there, you pretty much know who is the fan and who's actually going to this event, because there's so many like cosplayers around wearing, I don't know, some very like questionable material as well. Like
how much anime is there at Comic Con? Because you mentioned like Harley Quinn and Joker.
So they have stuff like there's usually a section where they just sell like anime merch and stuff. So I don't actually go to Comic Con for the comics. It's literally just for anime. They have like figures. They have like Gundam figures, and they have Persona stuff there. And they usually have a section for like games. So you'll see stuff like Square Enix, Atlas there sometimes, depending on what's coming out. I remember they had Galgun there, so I played some of that. I thought it was amazing, but I don't want to pay like full price for something.
You thought it was amazing.
For something you can play on Steam and buy for a much cheaper price.
Yeah. Look, I thought it was amazing at the time, right?
What would you say are the perceived qualities of Galgun
Look, okay, so okay, we can go there, Judy. Look, the perceived qualities of Galvan, right, is it's very mechanical shooting combat, right?
Yeah.
As you go along, this
It's a
game
rail
is like
shooter, yeah.
a rail shooter,
Mhm.
and it's like it's actually like a sharpened and molded version of old Sega greats like House of the Dead. It's amazing. Like, yeah. I mean,
It's a real
you know, when
game without the
zombies die, when zombies die, you know, they make groaning sounds, right? The girls do the exact same thing. It's that simple.
So
And-
would you
Uh,
say
Just
it's like
substitute the G with the M,
Yeah,
the letter M.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you get different guns, and you can zoom in, and you're pretty much trying to protect yourself, like how you're protecting yourself from the zombies.
so it's kind of like the intense puzzles in Honey Pop, right?
Yeah. Another, you know, wholesome game. Obviously, it's amazing. But you know, like, there's just games like that they showcase at Comic Con, and I guess yeah, what sort of makes it like the worst experience the first time is because there are so many people around. You know, even though I'm playing such an amazing wholesome game, you do get kind of nervous, like seeing all these people for the first time, because there's just so many, and you don't really know where you're going or what to do, what to avoid, what to look out for instance. So I guess the first time it was like my worst experience, but the second time I went, you know, just knowing, okay, they're having this showcase at this time, I gotta be ready for that. Really helped, and you know, some of the food is a tad bit overpriced, but if you're willing to put in the time and money, then it's a good time with friends. I would say another bad experience was a subsection of Hyper Japan, which is also another convention here, which is pretty big. I would actually recommend going to it at least once, but it's more like a marketplace. So at Hyper Japan, this is leading back into some of the doujins that were mentioned by Otto earlier. I thought I was getting a very good deal when I was younger, okay, guys? So this random guy at the side is like, "Hey guys, I'm selling doujins." And I was like, "Okay, for how much?" He's like, £1 for each one. I was like, "Are you serious?" They're like £7 minimum online for one, and you're gonna give me £1, right? A book? Are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's gonna be worth it, mate. So I was like, okay, I got like £20 on me right now. We can, you know, I can get as many
Buy
as I want.
20 of them.
And then, like, as I was walking around with these girls who went with me, they were like, James, why do you think they're so cheap? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, don't you think maybe, you know, they were used? And I was like, yeah, of course they're used. He's like, in a different way.
Oh god.
Yeah, I was like, okay, now I'm never reading these. So now I've got, you know, just got stuck upstairs and they're unopened because
You didn't throw them away?
I didn't put them away. They're just there now.
Can I just ask, in these like anime conventions, have y'all ever heard of stories where somebody gets reported to the police or something?
Oh, you get some.
No, it's happened in Singapore. It's happened in Singapore. So
Reported for what?
cosplay.
Oh, because it's too like exhibition.
Yeah. Like, so there was this girl who cosplayed as, I can't remember her name. Like, you know the main character in Kill la Kill?
Yes, Ryuko.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, with like, it's very exposed, and in Singapore, like the main anime convention is held like next to it's in a convention center that's linked to a shopping mall. So there was this grandma that was like she walked into the convention for some reason, and then she was like, "What are you wearing?" Then she started really just hammering down on her, and it was really bad because the cosplayer started crying, and she ended up reporting it to the police. So I think the police came down. Yeah, it was really awful. Yeah.
I don't necessarily blame the person who reported the
Yeah, but
cosplay if it's the like trans.
it was
version.
that one. Yeah, it was that one.
Yeah.
That was that one.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What? Can we have one last question? Is that fine?
The
Yeah, I
final
think that's fine.
question. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. One more. Okay. So I'm gonna say, not sure if you guys visit forums much, but how do you feel about online anime fans? And I guess this is sort of going out to, the more divisive of people online, people who don't like fan service. They question the maturity of anime. They question whether things should be censored, for instance, showcase of blood, etc. Would you agree with that, or do you think, it's just part of the process and they have to localize these things? So you have to get rid of certain things and censor.
I think you can just add like an age restriction. But I don't think they should be censored because I feel like at least with respect to like gore and stuff, I think like that's quite an important part of the story. Fan service, I don't always see the point. Yeah. But I'm okay with violence and gore.
Yeah. I guess I would say there are definitely people who go like really very angry about like censorship of some of the stuff online, especially in regards to like costumes and stuff, and just things certain people say.
Oh yeah,
But,
there was a thing in Malaysia actually. Oh sorry, we're
Yeah,
like
go
Oh,
on, go
wait,
on.
are we
Fine,
gonna
fine.
mention the
yeah, the Attack on Titan
Attack on
one.
Titan?
Yeah. When they drew underwear over all the Titans.
Let me get a picture of that.
Yeah, it's just,
That's ridiculous. Like, that's really dumb.
It's very I really don't know how to approach this one because I would say it'd be a good idea to keep the artist's original vision, but at the same time, certain things like if you just show it outside of Japan, for instance, you're gonna be questioned. There's just no way about that. Same with like, there's a reason why sometimes you have to change ages, for instance, of some of these characters, because like they just it begins getting questionable. Like if you look at the stuff that Nintendo does, even though they over censor a little bit, they change a lot of names. Ages, so that they're over 18, even if the character, clearly looks
Doesn't look like that.
yeah, it does not look like that, just to sort of protect themselves.
Oh, guys, the lolly's actually 100 years old.
Yeah, the common excuse
The classic.
is a classic, and I don't know. I feel like go on.
You were talking about online anime forums, and I feel
Yeah.
like honestly those are kind of toxic. I don't really enjoy them. Like for example, the My Anime List forums. I don't think I even want to say discussion because it's just like people shouting each other's opinions at the other person. And same goes for like Twitter. Anime Twitter is like known for being especially toxic, honestly.
Yes.
I guess it's just that people really want, or they really want others see or to agree with their own opinion.
Yeah, I guess they're really like attached to the shows and their opinions.
Yeah, I feel like when there's that amount of attachment, the community gets toxic really quickly.
Yeah,
Like with Attack on Titan Twitter, where they're attacking the staff for episodes, like
that
that's completely
happened?
out of line.
Mm-mm.
It just always deviates
That's
from
right.
what the artist is trying to do.
Exactly. It's never that deep. It's like a show.
Yeah, I guess, since we all love anime, but I feel like there does come a point where there's a lot of argument about certain things that don't really have to be argued as much, honestly. And I sort of try and avoid at least general online forums just because of like the whole negativity that sort of comes around it. I mean, you get people who just want to showcase their show and say how great it is, but then you also get people who very much disagree with the direction the show's taken.
What I've been doing on Twitter is just like unfollow anyone who gets anything like just exceedingly abrasive or confrontational on my feed. So stay away from the toxicity.
Yeah, just stick to wholesome art, wholesome VTuber, wholesome more art community. That part is usually a better part of Twitter.
Yeah,
very true. I follow art more than opinion pieces and I guess hot takes on a lot of this stuff.
There's a lot of hot take anime Twitter accounts actually.
Yes, a lot, and I guess there's a lot to avoid if you're not interested in that stuff. I guess there are people who are interested, and that's why they engage in these conversations.
I feel like
they do like arguments.
I feel like it's less of being interested and more of just wanting an echo chamber, maybe.
Or pushing views. Just a psychology of being insecure or having. That's a completely different topic.
Yeah. Like they'll follow someone because their quote unquote hot take actually is like represents their opinion.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess that's something we could have expanded upon in I guess a later section, but it's time for us to wrap up. It's time for us to wrap up now. Thank you, I guess, everyone who's attended and all the actual speakers, because before I came here, literally I was thinking, okay, this has the potential to be an absolute train wreck if no one engages, and I'm quite happy that everyone actually took part, and even if you were in the audience, just listened carefully, offered their thoughts as well in chat. So yeah, thank you everyone for attending. I guess
Thanks
that's it from me. Yep. Thank you, Julie, for being co-host as well for this section.
Pleasure.
Oh, plug the YouTube channel. Okay, so yes, Uni has a YouTube channel currently on the rising path.
No, wrong YouTube channel. We have a UCL and Society YouTube channel where we post podcasts like these if you want to listen to some more.
For the Anitalk. I completely forgot.
But also you could sub to our VTubers channel, Uni-chan.
Yeah.
That would be greatly appreciated. She tries her best and she's been doing a lot of live streams and videos recently.
Yeah, this is like the budget trust taste right now.
Is there a word for trashier taste?
Dumpster taste.
Bargain bin.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks guys. I'm glad this was I guess one of the last shows here as well.
Yeah, we got to overrun a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just after this, split up, head on to stalls and see what others have to offer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for coming.
Have fun at the fair.
You are host.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you very
guys.
much.
Pay a visit to somewhere else, and also